points of emphasis, things coming out the last game maybe that you want to address?
Nothing that atypical from a normal night. We went over some things in practice, watched a few clips. There's some things that I did like in the last game, some physicality, aggressiveness that we had, taking charges. You always want to see that. Being big at the rim, but having a presence without fouling as much. So we can take one thing from the other night, that would be it.
Are you guys experimenting with how you conduct shoot-arounds this year, just in terms of your scheduling?
Experimenting. We'll always take a strategic approach into whether or not and how we schedule shoot-around.
What's your thought process now? Is my sense is that you're probably shooting around a little less than you were a couple games into it last year. But are you taking a strategic approach to seeing if maybe afternoon workouts are more beneficial than the morning?
What I will say is kind of what I said similar at the beginning of the year is I took a scope of every pretty much decision we made throughout the course of the year, and I'll continue to do that. And I want to be efficient and strategic about what's the best element that guys can thrive in. Some of my findings are a little proprietary, and I cannot share with you. But I will say that hopefully it benefits our team in our decision of what we do with shoot around.
Will you stretch guys out a little more tonight?
We'll probably go pretty much the same way.
About 6 minutes.
Yeah, same way. I think that's a good stretch for guys. If you're going hard and trying to push yourself and see where you are, 5 or 6 minute stretch is a good look.
Coach, with so many guys back from last season's squad, is there a feeling out period with new guys, or do you kind of have an idea of who your guys are and where they fit?
I think it's definitely still a filling out period. I'll treat each year, each team differently, and this year's team needs to get to know each other. We have some added pieces, so that needs to fit. And then I think you always get to a point where new roles are kind of established, and maybe a guy has gotten better and his role expands. Maybe that affects another guy who had minutes last year. So I think you take each year separately, and we're still in the course of defining roles right now.
Do you let guys experiment a little bit with some of the new skills that they've added during the off season at this point in the preseason, or is it still about trying to figure out where the pieces meet with the team heading to the season coming
You
up?
didn't mess around with Josh. We experiment, huh? I'm not a scientist. we will let guys kind of expound their games for sure. Kind of similar to what I said about Drew shooting threes. I saw Drew work out and shoot threes throughout the course of the summer and put in work with his coaches and with his national team, and so he's earned the right to do that. If you've earned the right to dribble the basketball off the floor, take shots that you didn't take last year, obviously you put in the work. So we want guys to continue to get better and push the limits of their games.
What did you like with Tobias at 3 the other night? What did you like? What did he do well? What does he still need to work on? Anything came out of that game that you really liked?
That's a tough position to play. That's one thing. Guarding guys at that position and in the wing spot and running the floor offensively and chasing guys off screens defensively. So it'll be interesting as we go along this preseason if he continues to play the wing spot for us and the matchups that we'll have along the way.
So you'll go matchups whether he plays 3 or 4, kind of which matchup you like better maybe?
No, I won't even worry about that. I'll have a set of days of who I want to play, who's not going to play, and we'll figure out matchups as the games come along. And like we played Ryan the other night, and we didn't change any scheme. We just rolled with what we were trying to work on and kept it going.
Tell me a little bit about Oladipo at point and what he needs to work on most there still in that transition.
Oh.
You come from Cleveland, so I hadn't seen like him at all.
Well, he's playing the guard position for us, but when he is playing the point guard position, just like every point guard in this league, it's a true test every single night. And that test is running the ball club, decision making, knowing when to take your shot or when a teammate needs a shot, knowing situations. a lot of time and score, foul situation. There's a lot that goes into it. And so when he's at that position, having a comfort level to process all those things and still play with the instinct and the God-given talent that he has.
Can you see relying on him a great deal this season? I'm just in Cleveland, they're not really relying on the #1 pick. He's kind of like, they're easing him in, but is Oladipo somebody that you're going to play right away and play lots of minutes?
We earn our minutes here, and so if he earns those minutes, then he'll be on the floor. So far, he has earned those minutes. He's been really good in practice for us, consistent for us, and hopefully that continues. Rely is a pretty heavy word for me. He is part of our team, just like the other 14 guys will be, and he'll do his part every night. Sometimes it'll be at point guard, sometimes it'll be at guard.
Did you watch film with him at all after his first game, or did James or somebody maybe sit down and go through the film with him from the other night? Or?
Nah, we don't make too much. I'll tell a guy he's starting 15 minutes before the game, and I tell him how to feel out there. He said, fine, and there we go.
What did you like that he did the other night after watching the film? What would you call from the film, just on Victor?
I think overall, his composure was really good. He had a good pace about himself, and which is tough. First game, NBA game, preseason. And to have the pace and composure that he played with pretty much the entire game, his full stint of minutes, was pretty impressive.
What differences have you seen in Aaron so far in comparison to last year, whether it be physically or any type of mindset as far as how he produces on the court?
Well, I'll really have to judge that just from practice-wise. And really, he's kind of spearheaded our aggressiveness, especially on the defensive end of the floor. There's been plenty of scrimmages where he's taken the challenge and guided his team with just an aggressive play, whether it was picking a guy up full court, whether it was getting a crucial rebound, just aggressive play. I thought the first preseason game, his shot selection was really good. I think he shot 9 shots, and they all were really good shots, really efficient shots. And, I said earlier in the year, that's going to be his challenge. And I think he's done really well so far. What else is going on in Cleveland?
Not too much.
How's the weather when you left?
It's beautiful.
Really?
It's like 70 degrees, yeah.
How about here? What would you call our weather here?
It's a little bit warm. It's still like summer here. Yeah. It's okay though. I like it.
I had my windows down when I drove in.
You need the air conditioning though too. You don't need that in Cleveland right now.